banning phones makes almost as little sense as super soaker attack drills.
I'm not saying they're pointless because it happens, especially in America. But one, I always thought about this. I'm like, bro, if the school is in my school, in my class, then he already did the drill. He know the drill. He know the hiding spots, gang. He know everything, though, right? Like, this it has inside information, though, bro. That's like a bank robber who work at the bank. You feel me?
Where have you been?
The video we are gonna watch today is called Pointless School Rules, chat. I can understand the not chewing gum. I can understand the not chewing gum. Low-key be so disgusting with the gum, bro. So I can understand the not chewing gum. No hood, the no hood is stupid to me, bro. Cause when wanted to do some to the school, bro, he was already gonna do that, bro. He already gonna do that with or without you telling him to take his hoodie off. So I feel like the no hood is stupid, bro. The no hat, that stupid. Like, am I hiding a bomb under my hat? Did that serious, bro?
This year, the genius lawmakers in Texas had the brilliant idea to completely ban phones in school. Of all the useless rules that we have to follow in school, this one might actually take the cake. Personal telecommunication devices may not be used at any time during the school day. This includes classrooms, passing periods, restrooms, at lunch, or in any other common areas on campus.
Not being able to use your phone at lunch is the devil's word, gang. I'm not gonna lie. Passing periods, you can't even walk. Like, who's gonna press me if I'm just walking in the hallway with my phone, bro? Can't even use it at lunch. That's actually the devil's word.
Basically, get ready to bring your PSPs, 3DSs, Game Boys, and of course your game.coms to school.
What is that?
Bro, what is that?
What the
Mom teaches high school, and she was telling me the other day how she supported the ban, saying that phones are a distraction. I was like, Mom, banning phones isn't gonna magically make students start paying attention. Kids who don't want to pay attention are always going to find ways to distract themselves. You know how I know that? Because I was one of those kids. Back when I was in middle school in the ancient year of 2018, my school instituted a phone ban because the students in my school were scoring the lowest of any middle school in the district average. Yeah, it was pretty ghetto. But the administrators thought if we ban phones, they'll have nothing left to do but pay attention in their classes. Now, back in middle school, I never paid attention in class. Not because I was a bad student, but because I was one of the few good students in my grade, but the material was so boring and stuff that I already knew that I'd rather be playing Jetpack Joyride on my phone. Or
was it like that in school? Y'all just know, like, so y'all just like, I'm so what a drag, Shikamaru, and they talking about some, what a drag. I pretty much know everything, man.
Sending dogs
like that in school
or Snapchats to my friends, then relearn the Pythagorean theorem for the 40th time. But after the phone ban came, no more Jetpack Joyride, no more dog filters. I had to sit in class as my teacher droned on in the front. Have you ever gotten so genuinely bored that you start tearing up? That happened to me multiple times after the ban, listening to these mundane concepts that I already knew. And the dumbest part is, all of the bad students didn't magically start paying attention and getting A's. They just became more disruptive in class and started acting out more because they didn't have their phone to keep them occupied. It was literally a loss for everyone. Luckily, once I got to high school, I was free from that stupidity, but this year, it's back for everyone. I was at the gym the other day talking to a guy who goes to the high school I graduated from about the phone ban, and he was telling me that it sucks. He says that school is way more boring and isolating now because he can't communicate with his friends.
See, on one hand, I'm like, with the whole TikTok, y'all was probably recording them TikTokies in class talking about some renegade. So I can understand on some like that, but like to just ban phones in general, bro, is just tough, bro. It's just crazy. I know the attention span is cooked, so maybe it just got to the point, but like I'd be pissed if I'm in school, bro, and tell me I can't use my phone in 2025, bro.
Unless they're literally in the same vicinity of them. Also, everyone just goes to their cars during lunch so they can finally go on their phones. Is that
serious? It's like those
really better than the way that it was before? I mean, I don't disagree that phones can be distracting in school, but I think outright banning them from campus doesn't fix anything for students or teachers. Banning phones makes almost as little sense as super soaker attack drills, if you catch my drift.
What the oh, I was like, what is they talking about, bro? Because y'all know what drills he talking about. Super soaker, attack drills. It took me a second to understand what he meant. Like shooting drills, basically, essentially. I'm not saying they're pointless because it happens, especially in America. But one, I always thought about this. I'm like, bro, if the school is in my school, in my class, then he already did the drill. He know the drill. He know the hiding spots, gang. He know everything, though, right? Like this, it has inside information, though, bro. That's like a bank robber who work at the bank. You feel me? That's one. And two, in a lot of these situations, they tell you to stay in place and like those. But I tell you, play your life. If a school is happening, play your motherfucking life, gang. Because if I hear bro down in the other classroom adjacent over there, bro, and I hear that, you think I'm going to stay in the room? What do y'all think he gonna go next? Where do y'all think he gonna go next, man? Bro, I get the window if I got to, bro. Play your life. If it's smart to stay, then just stay and like those, because you don't want to accidentally run into this. But if I hear bro in the other classroom, bro, you think I'm gonna stay there, bro? Y'all think he gonna be like, oh, that classroom right there, I'm not gonna go to that. They good like those, bro. Like, come on, bro. My school was an open campus. I'd be damned. Yo, I'd be damned if I'm staying. It's easier to just leave, bro. Especially if you got space. Like, if I'm in a school trailer, I don't know if y'all got trailers outside, the little outside classrooms, and bro is inside, gang, I'm not gonna lie, y'all gonna see me in the woods, man. Y'all gonna see me, y'all dead gonna see me in the woods, man. I'm not gonna cap you. I'm just not taking that risk to wait there, bro. I'm going to like go to the woods, go to somebody's house. I go to the local McDonald's 10 minutes like away. If I got to, I'm just not gonna be there. You feel me? That's how I always like thought about it. So I understand the meaning of the drills, but like, come on, man. Let's be realistic. And by the way, like for fire drills, right? Has anybody actually had a fire at their school? I'm sure there has, but I'm like, in here, has anybody really had a fire at their school for this type of like thing to really be going on? Yes, no, not me. Yeah, we did. Yeah, small microwave fire, yes, but it wasn't big. Did y'all go in a single file line and like those? Did y'all do those or no?
First off, the fact that these even exist is insane to me. Super soaker attacks have gotten so prevalent in school that we literally need a drill for it, yet lawmakers think banning phones is a bigger priority. But the drills themselves are literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, someone has a super soaker on campus. Let's all hide in the same corner of the classroom. That way, when they burst through the door, we can make it easy for them. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but if someone brought a super soaker to campus,
what the yo, this got an orbital cannon. What the this yo? Is yo Ops Galactus? Is yo fighting a water gun fight with Thanos?
I was in school, I am booking it off campus as quickly as possible, preferably with 2 or 3 of my homies. That way we have a fighting chance if we run into the guy. I am not sticking around in a campus being target
I just noticed the music that's playing in the background.
Quickly as possible, preferably with 2 or 3 of my homies. That way we have a fighting chance if we run into the guy. I am not sticking around in a campus being target practice in the corner of a room. The weird thing is, the longer I was in school, the more I felt like a super soaker attack was a real possibility.
Who the f made this remix? Who made this happy-go-lucky, pyrocynical, outro sounding music in the back?
Like my senior, the more I felt like a super soaker attack was a real possibility. Like my senior year, it got to the point where I was like, okay, just gotta make it to October. Okay, now it's October, just make it to January. Okay, now that's January, like please let me just make it to March. And eventually it was just, okay, please let me make it to the end of graduation.
That's so f***ed up that niggas even gotta think like that. Like, you gotta think, yo, bro, I just want to be in school, bro. Let me just make it through here. Let me just get out of here. Let me just get out of here.
And I'm free. And even at the graduation ceremony, I was looking around like, please God, let me survive this. I want to make out with at least one girl in a college dorm before I die.
We had an SS situation at my elementary school, which is nerve-wracking. It turned out it was a robbery across the street. I think there's one time our school got locked down because there was a crime in the area, like in high school, but it wasn't like went on there. There was somebody who actually walked on the school campus in high school, bro. But the was just a crackhead. He was just like a super crackhead. So the school got locked down because there was a mega crackhead on the campus. I don't know all the details, but he was a crackhead.
And I survived and proceeded to make out with a girl in a college dorm, so Appreciate that, G. But yeah, the drills, they gotta go. They're clearly there to give off the illusion of safety without accomplishing anything. Just like wearing ID badges, they started enforcing this sometime when I was in high school.
Yeah, we had to do ID badges as well. I don't know if we had to have it around our neck. Maybe it's on our person. But did they take book bags away from y'all? We couldn't wear book bags. We couldn't wear book bags after a certain point. After a certain point, all book bags had to go in a locker. And I mean, nowadays, I guess, like, I'm not saying it's a dumb rule because nowadays you'd be seeing what happened. But, bro, in sophomore year, they said no book bags, bro. You can only carry your binder around school, bro. No book bags. So, in the beginning of the day, everybody had to use their locker. Bro, freshman year, I didn't even use my locker, bro. I didn't even remember the combination to my locker, bro. I probably went to my locker, like, 0 times, bro. But from sophomore year on, sophomore and junior year, I used my locker every day, bro. And then senior year, I just didn't carry enough to really give a fuck about a book bag, so I'd never use my locker. What an ID badge do if the student a student is the SS? It's a good question.
And
it's a good question.
It might be the most useless thing we were ever forced to do. Teachers were like, we need to identify everyone on campus in case of an event of danger. And it's like, what is an ID gonna do to stop anything?
Every time I see this video, it gets worse and worse in quality. That is Stano Snap quality.
The only thing wearing IDs accomplished was ruining every fit you wore and being hella itchy around your neck. Plus, whatever printer they used to make our IDs was the most incompetent piece of technology ever because everyone who had brown skin just turned out orange, and I was out here getting roasted by my friends cause this racist broken machine. I can't think of a single legitimate argument for enforcing IDs other than giving students a tool to cut up their Kool-Aid with whenever they snort it. Being forced to wear IDs annoyed me a little bit, but it was nothing compared to taking final exams. I'm in university.
Bro, I hate final exams. In college, it's so much worse, bro. The midterms and the final exam, bro, you might as well stick it in at that point, bro. Midterm is actually like the devil's test. No funny though, bro. This is what colleges do in some schools. They'll gatekeep a test in order for you to go on a break. All that work you're doing at school, all that like mental anguish at school, you must take a test just to unlock a break, bro, from school, bro. It's actually ridiculous, man.
Now, and final exams make sense for college courses because the entire course is based around like 3 exams.
Yeah, for college it makes more sense, but if you're taking a final exam in school, bro, like you're taking the state mandated test, you're probably failing that. And I'm gonna be honest, gang, because like aren't retaining all that information, bro, like except like that they actually care about.
But back in high school, it felt like it was just this AIDS monster that was hanging over you the entire.
I had this friend Joaquin, if he's watching this. We all took the English test. There was an English standardized test that we had to take. Everybody in the class passed except for that. That is the only in the class who didn't pass. They sent that to another classroom. They sent that to another classroom, bro. Yeah, he would have to leave the class to go to another classroom to just do that test and like they'll do like work to build up to that test again, bro. It was actually probably one of the most embarrassing things ever, bro.
AIDS monster that was hanging over you the entire semester. Like, I would do so much work on the in-class assignments, homework, quizzes, tests throughout the semester, but then 20% of my grade would be the final exam. So if you bombed that test, your grade could go from a 97 to an 85 real quick. The worst was in classes like history and psychology that were all memorizing terms and dates, cause whenever we took the unit tests, I would spend the entire—
By the way, history is one of the hardest courses to take. I still like history though. But bro, this audio that this is playing right now is literally this right here, bro.
Shawty wanna Shawty likes it rough and she's got a big
oily butt.
A big round wet McMuffin. Shawty's got sexual techniques and a big round
oily butt.
Goosebumps on her booty cheeks. I wanna bust a nut. She's looking good. She's got a lot of class. Big hoop earrings and that big round. I crack a stupid.
You gotta remix this song. Where is this at, bro? I got a head load duet with this.
Shawty wanna
Continuing though.
Night before cramming, memorizing as many terms as possible, take the test, and then forget everything immediately. Because that's how those tests are set up. They're not tests of understanding, they're tests of memorization. So by the time the final exams came around, I would essentially have to relearn everything by myself in the days leading up to it. Crash Course History came in clutch.
Yo, this right here, chat, was that name, chat? Crash Course, or you love Crash Course, but it took away from class time, so
times than I can remember. The worst part is final exams are a district policy, because I had a friend who lived the city over and he didn't have to do any final exams throughout high school at all. All y'all from
history,
first
government,
off, some of you are
if that wasn't for that, bro, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of in history would have failed, right?
actual degens, I'm not gonna lie. And second off, you don't realize how lucky you were that you didn't have to do final exams in high school. That was just a looming pressure that was constantly there in the back of my mind. The only time I didn't take
in the back of what? Say that again.
final exams was second semester of my senior year, because there was this policy where any senior who had above an 85 in an AP class was exempt from taking the exam. But it's not like we could go home or hang out with our friends. Everyone who was exempt from the exam had to sit in the gym during the time period that they would be taking the exam, which made literally no sense. But on the last day of school during my senior year, when they finally let us out of the gym, me and my friends and some other students all went to
God, boy!
When they finally let us out of the gym, me and my friends and some other students all went to Krispy Kreme.
One bite donuts!
Where they were giving out a free dozen donuts to every graduating student.
Every year when it's graduating class, the Krispy Kreme gives out free donuts. Again, shout out to them. But like half the who go get donuts are not students, bro. Because sometimes Krispy Kreme do not be checking. You just gotta go there and be like, yeah, I'm class of 2020. I'm class of 2021, 2022, 2023.
Special. They were giving out a free dozen donuts to every graduating student. Shout out to Krispy Kreme for that. That's a big G move. So we all went to Krispy Kreme and the workers were handing out donuts to all of us. And then one of the kids in our group, and for some reason I will always remember this, he walks up to the counter and says, "Don't you want to check my ID to make sure that I'm actually graduating?" And then he pulls out his school ID and shows it to the worker without them even asking. Something about that really ticked me off, and for whatever reason, I still frequently think about it. Anyways, those were some annoying school rules that I had to follow. I'm sure your schools have some really pointless ones that you have to follow as well, so let me know in the comments.
Man,
also, make sure that you're...
I'm surprised you talk about the no hood, bro. The no hood this. Oh, bro, I don't know what the that was, bro. We're gonna go ahead and put those on the we're gonna put those on the main channel. If you are watching this on the main channel, Twitch will ride in the description and like those. Y'all let me know some more pointless school rules and like those. But yeah, IBBG. Alright.